did a piece in this debut issue about what I have always thought is one of the really, truly great secrets and gems of the city, and that is the Chester Children's Chorus. Tell us a little bit about what they do.
Sure. So it's a group of, I think there are like maybe more than 100 kids a part of this. They all live in the city, and this man named John Alston, who was a former professor of music at Swarthmore College, he started this group back in 1994. They just celebrated their 20th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
At first it started with just a boys choir, and then he realized that it could be so much more. A lot of the sisters that came and helped out at practice started singing along with the boys, and then from there he decided to open it up to both boys and girls, and it kind of just grew from there. I had the chance to watch them practice when I did a couple interviews there, and it was just amazing. There were these 8-year-olds, and they were just so talented. And I mean, obviously kids are not as disciplined as, adults, but they just had, it was just amazing to hear them sing. They had so much talent for being so young.
Yeah, it is really an exceptional group. If you get the opportunity, they do, I think they're getting ready, they usually do a holiday concert. You should really try to take that in. Devon Fiore, I now turn to you, and you come at this with a little bit of a different aspect. You come from outside, really, the area. You came from all the way from Lancaster. Oh, my goodness. But what was the draw? What brought you to Widener?
I think growing up in Lancaster, it's a lot of farms. And
Certainly is.
Coming to Widener, it was the city, and I was very interested in the city, being close to Philly. And coming here, it was a little scary for me because I had never really been near a big city. I think Lancaster is just one of those cities that's about a block by a block. So I really liked coming here to be able to experience something that isn't a farm area.
We get some visual proof of what Devon was talking about, because here on the cover of the inaugural issue of Chester Magazine is an aerial shot of I-95, obviously the corridor that runs directly through the heart of the city. And here you can see Crozier, but lo and behold, right there on a clear day, because I know that I can tell you that there are several spots in the county that you can do this, right there on a clear day in the background, that is in fact the skyline of Philadelphia, which looms there on the eastern distance here in Delaware County. Maria, why do you think that groups like the Chester Children's Chorus and some of the other things like that, why do you think they remain such a secret, and why they're not talked about as much?
I think sometimes other things just overshadow them. I didn't even know about them until one of my professors pointed them out. She is a Swarthmore resident. She's an adjunct here at Widener, and she told me I had to hear these kids. Yeah. So I went on their website and watched a couple videos that they posted, and then I got really interested and contacted them, and from there I kind of learned about them myself. Like I said, I didn't know they existed either.
Right.
I think that, I think sometimes we just look for the negativity instead of the positivity, and I think that's part of it.
Devon, you got an opportunity to get involved with really what is one of the truly iconic names here in the county, and especially in the city of Chester, and that obviously would be Crozier Chester Medical Center. Tell the people a little bit about the story that you did on the tremendous work that they're doing at the Fertility Center at CCMC.
I was able to get in contact with the head doctor at the Fertility Center, Dr. Elroy, and it was just a really interesting experience because he invited me into his office. He brought me around the entire facility, and I got to talk with him for an hour and a half just about everything that he's done. And he told me about all the experiences that he has, where he goes to the gas stations and he sees an 18-year-old kid that he helped bring into the world. And it was just really interesting to be able to talk to someone who's doing this type of work right across the street from us. And it was just really great walking out of the fertility center and just seeing the thousands of pictures of babies that they had on the walls. It was awesome.
Now, with these the stories that went into the inaugural issue, what kind of a time frame are we talking about? How long have you been working on these stories? Clea, we'll start with you.
Well, we were working over the span of a semester. We did additional work over the summertime forum. For me, I spent a good part of my summer break working on that particular column alone, and also providing additional photography for parts of the magazine. Like, for example, the photojournal essay regarding the restaurants.
Right.
I'd spent some additional time on that. We also...
You didn't stop to eat at any of those places, did you?
Yeah, in fact, that's actually good you pointed that out, because me and Sam, in the early part of the fall semester, we went to this restaurant called Gimme Sugar. And it was really a fascinating opportunity for us to taste some of the local foods that are in the city of Chester, and it's really fantastic.
Yeah. It was very good. It was a Jamaican place we learned about after the semester, but Clea was doing the internship in the summer, and we thought, hey, let's go to the Jamaican place and eat. So that was a fun assignment.
We just did the piece last weekend on the new barbecue place that opened up in the city.
We'll have to go there for the next issue.
All right, we've got the inaugural issue out. How is this going to work, Sam? Is this going to work by semesters? Are you going to try to target one each semester?
Well, we'd actually like to do, this took almost a year to put together. And the last spring semester began in January, early January. So all the writing, developing story ideas, and the students debated, what do I want to write about? We pitched stories. We ran the class sort of like a newsroom. Every week we taught what story you're working on, what ideas do you have. These were the stories that came out to be. There were some stories that didn't make the magazine. I think everybody wrote 2 or 3 stories and worked towards one longer piece. So near the end of the semester, we voted on, like a newsroom would, like, well, what order should the stories be on? The students voted on the cover, like, do we want this image? We had other shots. And at that point, we enlisted, there were 5 students in the class, and then there were 3 other students that participated. There's a student, Autumn Heisler, who is an English and creative writing major. We recruited her to be chief copy editor. So she spent a good bit of the summer writing headlines, editing stories, shaping the stories, polishing them a little more. And then a student, Natalie Franzini Hidalgo, who's a communication studies student, who Tim Skapansky here teaches graphic design and had her in a class. He recommended her. Once Autumn finished all the stories, we selected the photos near the end of class. We gave all that to Natalie, and she did the fantastic design that we had, working with also, there's a graphic designer in our department who advised her, and Tim Skapansky advised her. So that was the process over the summer. We sort of hoped that we would be done with that this summer. It dragged on to the fall a little bit with some more proofreading and printing. So we started on a cold day and we finished on a cold day because we just got them printed out this week. But hopefully an annual magazine would be the plan.
And what in terms of distribution, is this just distributed on campus?
Well, we gave most of the magazines to the city.
That's great.
We gave the grant was only $1,000, and the software needed for the graphic design was about $200. So we printed as many as we could for $800, which is just slightly under $300. So we gave $150 to the city. The students have them for their portfolios, and we're sharing on campus. We're hopeful that maybe we will be able to print some more. It has gotten. I'm very pleased with the response that it's gotten. And actually, I feel a little guilty because people have been emailing me and saying, "Hey, great job with the magazine! Great job with the magazine!" But I didn't write any of these stories. Or I did take the picture of the students at the William Penn Monument. That's the only thing that I photographed or writing that I did. But I mean, the students did the writing and the photography and the editing and the design, and did a fantastic job with it.
There's also an online element. There's a website. You have the audience now, so tell people if they haven't been able to get their hands on a copy of the print edition, they can go online.
Anybody all over the world can go to the online version. It's www.widener.edu/Chester Magazine.